Welcome to another edition of the Sabres Spotlight on the Marion Sports Network. I am Wade Bates, and we're going to talk Marion women's volleyball with head coach Sarah Angelos as the Sabres on the 31st of August head to Ripon for a quadrangular to get their season rolling. Coach Angelos, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, how's training camp going so far for the Sabres?
It's good. We just finished 2-a-days today, so it's been a whirlwind of preseason. It's been awesome. We've brought in 9 freshmen, so getting them acclimated and bringing everybody in. The upperclassmen have done an awesome job kind of meshing everybody together, so it's been really good so far.
You talk about two-a-days. Are you the kind of coach when it comes to two-a-days that at the end of the day the women are crawling off the floor, or is it how intense are two-a-days?
No, we kind of split it up. So in the morning, our morning sessions is more like ball control, less jumping, that kind of stuff, and then in the afternoon we'll play a lot more. So they're definitely tired by the end of the day, but they're not dying.
And you've also mixed in, from what I've seen via social media, some team building type exercises. Can you kind of talk about some of those things you've done?
Yeah, so it was really important to me, I think, as a student athlete for myself. Those kind of things are the things you really remember is going to do something outside of your comfort zone. So that's what I really wanted to do, is push the girls outside of, just being in the gym. So we went up to Camp Douglas for the Army National Guard in their training facility. So the girls went through obstacle courses, and they had to, they would send one person in to kind of look at the course and then be able to lead their team through it. So it was pretty cool.
How did you find that program and get that all set up?
Sergeant Jason Foster, he's awesome. He's our recruiter here in this area. So he does a lot of work and comes in and trains the teams, and was telling me about him like, the volleyball team's going this year, so we went out and did it.
And do you feel like on the bus ride home you got a lot out of that experience?
Definitely. There was a lot of bruises from, just the obstacles, but overall the girls haven't stopped talking about it. It's been awesome.
Transition, we talked about a month ago on a separate Sabres Spotlight, but the transition from Coach Hebel, who was here for it seems like forever, to you taking over for Carrie, who retired. How has the transition been for you?
I think the girls have responded extremely, extremely well. We have a new assistant coach, Brian Rushmer, from the men's side kind of coming over, and they've responded extremely well to him. I think, we're playing a little bit more than we have, a lot more game-like situations and, breaking things down in the morning, and they've responded extremely well, being very interactive. So
you mentioned 9 freshmen. Can you kind of talk about some of the women that are the student athletes that are coming back this year?
Yeah, our returners. What's cool to see is we have some more upperclassmen than we've had in the past. With Alex being our senior, who's been 3-year starter coming in, so she's adding a lot of consistency out on the court. And I think Amber Yar's ready to step up and be our setter going through. And couple of our freshmen that played last year coming back strong. So. It's good to see.
And those women did get great experience last season. You had some freshmen that saw a lot of playing time as well. How big was that for you coming back, knowing that those women kind of know what to expect in the battles of the NAC?
Oh, huge. It's definitely big. And I think, we expect to see some of our freshmen push in to get on the court. And I think having that leadership out there to help them will be a huge impact.
How about your 9 freshmen? You happy with what you've seen out of them so far since they've been on campus?
Yeah, so far so good. They come in with awesome attitudes, and they've come in not scared, to make errors, and not scared to be loud on the court. So that's been really cool to see.
What is the biggest transition a freshman volleyball player needs to make to be able to play and get on the floor as a freshman in the NAC?
I think the biggest transition from high school or club to college is just the speed of the game and the tempo. Everybody's stronger, everyone's bigger than they've seen. So, kind of catching up a little bit to the speed, but other than that, being in the right spot and putting themselves in a position to be successful.
Looking at the NAC this season, CUW Aurora, CUW has picked to win the league. Aurora also got some first place votes from the preseason polling. Just what's your take on the NAC in general with the league this year?
I think it's, the NAC's tough. I love the conference because I think anybody can beat anyone on any night, which is cool. You want to go out and compete every single time. So, those top couple teams are definitely going to be a tough challenge, but I think it's doable.
Pick 10th, does that kind of have a chip on your shoulder that's where it came out? Does that bother you? Do you look at that, or do you just use that as motivation?
You got to use it as motivation, I think. You see the teams ahead of you, and you can beat them, and going forward, you just have to work harder and get better towards the end of the season.
What are some of the things that need to happen with your team to move up the standings as the year goes along?
I think that consistency, not making a ton of errors, serving tough, passing well, and terminating the ball.
Do you feel like you have your lineup pretty much set? You still tinkering with it? Going to be putting some different players in there as in the early part of the year?
Definitely not set yet. We have a full week left of practice, and it'll be nice to get the freshmen back in the gym because they've had orientation, this week. So we've missed them for the last 2 days, but bringing them back, we'll see. Next week's going to be a gauntlet to compete for that starting spot.
So what do you look for again from the quad before you come home for your first match? I guess on the 5th.
Out of that, the Ripon Quad will be really fun. I think there's some good teams in it, and it'll be obviously our first chance to compete besides competing against each other. There will somebody else on the other side of the net, which will be nice. But, I'm looking for people to step up, people to make plays and be loud and be great teammates.
Is that different, though, when you're playing, your roster's big enough where you can play matches and such, but when you actually see different uniform, that kind of turned it up a notch?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. It's different. It's a different field, different game, everything.
Well, Sarah, again, Wednesday the 5th, Lawrence, right here at the Sadov Gymnasium at 7 o'clock. People can come out and get the debut at home for the Marion Women's Volleyball team. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Marion Women's Volleyball coach Sarah Angelos on the Sabres Spotlight on the Marion Sports Network.